Welcome, crypto fam, to the #1 daily Bitcoin pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as Bitcoin is pumping back in the green. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin's price movement looks very manufactured, according to Jan 3's Samson Mao. We'll also be discussing Bitcoin should be studied, not feared, according to the Czech Republic central bank head. We'll also be discussing Libra co-creator bragged about paying Javier Malay's sister for the token post. I'll be sharing this insider report, as well as Sailor Strategy proposes a $2 billion convertible note offering to buy more Bitcoin. Let's freaking go. Also, we'll be discussing strategic Bitcoin reserve is happening all around the world with 1 million price target imminent, as well as breaking news. U.S. Senate confirms Howard Lutnik as Trump's Commerce Secretary. And if you're not familiar with Mr. Lutnik, he's a holder of hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. But anyways, without further ado, if you're new to the channel, very important to smash the likes. Go ahead and subscribe. Then hit the bell icon. Turn on all notifications. That way you get notified each and every day when I go live, as I stream from different times day to day. But this is the most consistent Bitcoin podcast on the entire planet. Today is episode number 1910. I'm your host, JV. It's February 19th, 2025. Market bag in a green, up 16 hundo on the day. So let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. As you can see on your screen, Coin 360 pulled up. Bitcoin trading at around 96,400 at the time of the live stream. Back in the green. XRP up 6%, trading at $2.64. Ether up 2.5%, trading back above 2,700. And checking out CoinMarketCap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at 3.18 trillion, back on the climb. Bitcoin market cap back above 1.9 trillion. We have 93 billion worth of volume for the past 24 hours. And the Bitcoin dominance maintaining at roughly 60%, 60.1 according to CoinMarketCap, with the Ether dominance at 10.3%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We got Story leading the pack, up 40%, followed by Sonic up 26%, followed by Aptos up 20%. Which alts, if any, are you bullish on for the bull? Holla at your boy. And checking out the crypto bubbles, we get a visual perspective. First we'll do on the daily, and then we'll zoom out on the monthly. And for the day, it's a mixed bag. Some of the market in the red, some in the green. Zooming out on the monthly, most definitely the majority of the market correcting pretty massively and wrecked in the red, including some very solid projects like Stacks, even down 40% at the past 30 days. And checking out the Crypto Greed and Fear Index. Today, we're back in fear, rated a 44. Yesterday, 47 neutral. Last week, a 46 in fear. And last month, a 76 in extreme greed. And checking out the time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 884,464. We have 165,536 blocks until the next halving in 2028. And you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,038 sats. So pick up the sats, put down the gats, and pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. F around, find out, as they say in the hood. But anyways, we're looking at a 1 hour chart live and in the flesh via Coinbase, via TradingView. We do have a bull target in the red, sitting just shy of 105 Gs. And then there's a bear blue scenario all the way down at 81.6. Do you think we're most likely to fulfill the bull or fulfill the bear? And it's a trick question. You guys better say bull or you're on the wrong pod. And zooming out on the 4 hour, we also have the 130,000 orange bull target. As you can see on your screen, this is on the 4 hour chart. Excuse me, I guess I manifested the hiccups here. We also have a target just shy of 105 on the 4 hour, and then the bear targets are at just shy of 82, and a super bear target all the way down to 68. The only big name I know calling for like a 70,000 correction is like Arthur Hayes just blaze. But I'm more optimistic. I feel the bottom is in, and we're likely to continue to ascend and hit these upper trajectory targets of 120, 130,000 as the next leg up once we recapture price discovery, which is currently sitting at 109.3 as of January 20th, inauguration day for the Trumpster. And zooming out from the 4 hour, the 1 day chart says It's going up forever, JV. There's a rising wedge formation sensation. There are a couple of bear targets on the radar, one at 68.6 and a super bear. This must be the bear's target I've ever seen. 49. This is something like a Peter Schiffmeister or Jim Cramer would call for. I'm speculating, but I highly doubt that's happening. But anyways, zooming out on the weekly, we do still have the sexy cup and handle targets in 124. Past few weeks have been bearish closes, unfortunately. But just a matter of time before we continue to pump, in my humble opinion. And zooming out from the 1 week, we take a quick look at the 1 month. As you can see, February thus far has been forming a red bear candle, but not so significant, but nonetheless, we still got a week and a half to flip that mofo green. Then for the month of January, we had a itty bitty green candle close. December was corrective, but itty bitty. And then November was the Godzilla candle, the most appreciating candle since the inception of the Genesis block. We went up almost 30,000 in fiat terms just for that single month. So you could imagine another 30,000 bump up like that would take us close to the $130,000 target, which we just saw on the 4-hour chart. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Where do you feel the pretty little bitty likely to go next? But let's continue with the news. Now we broke down the latest TA. Here's the latest from Samson Mao, one of my faves. Headline reads, Bitcoin price movement looks very manufactured. And I tend to agree with this. Everyone's asking, why are we trading sideways when all of the governments, the states, the strategic Bitcoin reserves, Mikey Saylor buying billions of Bitcoin, why do we continue to trade sideways? Well, let's break her down. The Bitcoin price action is raising concerns of possible market manipulation as the crypto continues trading in a tight range despite billions of dollars of the institutional inflows. Bitcoin has been range bound for over 2 months, trading between 92 and 106.5 resistance since December 18th. As it shows here on the daily chart, Bitcoin managed to briefly escape this range after President Trump's inauguration Jan 20th, when we hit the current all-time high of 109.3 before dropping back to the previous range. Bitcoin's range-bound price action may be manufactured based on the trajectory of the past months, according to Samson Mao. Shout out Samson, quoting him here. It seems like it's some sort of price suppression. Agreed. If you look at a price movement, we peak and then we stay steady and chop sideways, and it's good. You can say it's consolidation, but it just looks very manufactured. Very sus. I agree. The very tight range in which you're trading just doesn't look natural at all. So despite Bitcoin's temporary lack of upside, industry watchers remain optimistic about the bitty trajectory for the year, with price predictions ranging from 160, I dare say, to 2.2 million as per the high priest, the bishop of Bitcoin, Max Kaiser. Now, the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETFs and companies like Mikey Saylor are transparently buying multiples of the Bitcoin mined every day. Precisely. If Bitcoin price isn't moving despite institutions and retail buyers accumulating the biddy, then someone must be selling. And you've got retail buyers who are dollar cost averaging and buying, and because the price is set at the margin. So that means somebody has to be selling. And while last year we saw structured selling sellers offloading the biddy due to the bankruptcies and restructuring, that period is largely behind the market now. The crypto market saw another key development this week as FTX began repaying creditors, distributing $1.2 billion to the claimants. However, repayments are being made based on the Bitcoin price from November 2022, which is the bottom of the market back when the biddy was between 16 and 20,000, meaning everybody got screwed. Hence, never keep your Bitcoin on the exchanges. You may get screwed too. Some analysts believe this can create additional selling pressure as recipients of these repayments seek to realize their gains. Quoting Samson again, FTX is starting to pay out the dollars from selling the biddy. Advisedly in the mid-20 range. Yeah, ill-advisedly. Exactly. So clearly somebody is selling to match this. Otherwise, the price would already be moving upwards again. And I expect nothing less from the whales and, the market makers looking to manipulate the market and do what they do best. But you guys let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with Samson? Do you think the market is being manipulated? Holla, and I'll read your comments out loud. Anyways, fam, let's continue where we left off with the news, shall we? Next story of the day, Czech Republic central bank head says Bitcoin should be studied. Well, of course, Good point. Studying Bitcoin's underlying tech and economic impact has strengthened the central banks despite past hesitancy from financial institutions concerned about the volatility, according to Ales Mikhail, governor of the Czech National Bank. Bitcoin should be broadly studied by the central banks, not feared. And as if they're not studying Bitcoin, they know the threat it proposes. Bitcoin steps the head of the central banking cartels. I'm just saying. He said Bitcoin's unique technology should not be lumped together with the other crypto assets. Exactly. Tell it to the Trumpster. Tell it to Malay, and tell it to the Hawk Tua lady. We central bankers should study it and explore the tech it is built upon. Studying Bitcoin won't harm us. On the contrary, it will strengthen us. I dig it. Mikhail's comments come nearly 3 weeks after the governor shared a proposal for creating the Bitcoin test portfolio with the CNB's bank board meeting January 30th, quoting him here. This step is motivated by a desire to learn about and try out this high-risky alternative asset, says the governor. Now, he also emphasized that this is only the initial stage of the analysis and that a final decision will depend upon the outcome of the analysis. Well, there you go. He also started looking at Bitcoin as a potential reserve asset on Jan 7th when he was considering acquiring a few of the Bitty for diversification. Bitcoin's 100% or 130% yearly returns for 2024 make it difficult to ignore for financial institutions and large investment funds, hence why they're all already studying it. Don't get it twisted. The CNB may become the first European central bank to invest in Bitcoin if the proposal is approved. If approved, the investment may amount to over $7.3 billion worth of the Bitty purchases, given the CNB's total reserves of more than $146 billion. Hot Lord. Good Lord. Head of the research at Bitwise shared, he says, to put this into perspective, these Bitcoin purchases alone would be equivalent to around 5.3 months of the newly mined Bitcoin supply. And I think right now there's like 450 of the Bitty mined every day. So they would purchase up over 5 months of the supply single-handedly. Just one central bank. That doesn't factor BlackRock. That doesn't factor Michael Saylor or the rest of the whales accumulating like it ain't no thing. And while Bitcoin's an interesting asset worth considering, I'd say that again for a large portfolio, the board of the bank will need to provide thoughtful analysis paralysis. Still, Bitcoin remains pressured by the ongoing trade tensions between the U.S. and China, according to Vogar, chief operating officer of BitGet, quoting him here. While this headwind remains in the market, with President Trump eyeing more tariff hikes in the coming weeks, Bitcoin has traded with resilience and brilliance. Well, let's continue with some of the bullish news. We shared the latest from the Czech Republic head. Now let's discuss more about Malay and this Libra. Excuse me. Good Lord. This Libra rug. Libra co-creator bragged about paying Javier Malay's sister for the token post, according to this latest report. And one of the creators behind the controversial crypto Libra token reportedly sent a text message bragging about being able to pay Argentine President Malay's sister insiders in exchange for the president sharing the meme coin details on X, according to the Argentine media. That's right. La Nación reported February 18th that it's seen text messages that Hayden Davis, he was actually the dev for Malay and behind this project, and was also behind the Melania rug, ironic enough. But I actually watched the CoffeeZilla interview he did for an hour. I watched it twice. Let me know if you guys saw it. The person connected to the Libra token and the CEO, Kelser Ventures, sent to a crypto investment firm executive saying he can pay Karina Malay for control over the president. Interesting. We can also have Malay tweet and meet in person and do promo. Reads a screenshot of the text message purportedly sent by Davis in December to the unnamed executive who rejected the offer. I sent money to his sister and he does whatever I say and does what I want. Read another message. Man, that's pretty bold of him to say. Davis could not immediately be reached for comment. A spokesperson for Davis told the media outlet CoinDesk that Davis didn't recall. Of course he's going to say, I don't recall that. I don't recall sending no message. There's no record of it on the phone. Davis also denied making payments to either Javier or Karina Malay. But you know who got refunded from the rug? Dave Portnoy. That's right. They paid Portnoy. Portnoy claims he didn't take any money to promote it, but he invested like $5 million and made a public post, and then it got rugged, and then they refunded his money. Do you think any of the retail investors got refunded when they got rugged? I think not. It just goes to show you there's a double standard and there's lots of manipulation, and that retail investors are not. According to the own dev that, part of the rug that shared in the interview with CoffeeZilla, retail investors are not meant to benefit from these meme coins. But who buys it? Retail. You know who benefits? Insiders, and and more insiders. Karina Milei currently serves as General Secretary of Argentina's presidential office and has become a close advisor for her brother, the president. That dev also revealed even Trump had a circle of people in which they told to buy the coin before the public. So it's called insider trading, and my understanding, it's highly illegal. But nonetheless, it goes on virtually every meme coin launch. And now the president is a part of meme coin launches. I ain't just talking President of Malay and pointing the finger at him. I'm pointing the finger at Trump. I'm pointing the finger at anyone launching these damn meme coins and should know better. She's often seen with Javier Milei on his recent official overseas trips. Here's what the text says. Sweet. Also, can we also have Milei tweet and meet in person and do a promo? I control that. How dare he drop the N-bomb? He's a white guy. That's unacceptable in of itself. That's effing sick. I send money to his sister and he signs whatever I say and does what I want. I pray this is fake, because if this is real, it's just a sad reality of what goes on behind the scenes with these damn meme coin launches and why you should stay away from them. Davis and Kelsler Ventures were some of the biggest winners from the Libra token launch. Follow the money, claiming to have netted around 100 million. Davis, however, says he didn't own the tokens and wouldn't be selling them. Libra notched 4.5 billion market cap at the peak before it crashed around 95%. Moments later, Milei claims he didn't promote the Libra token, as fraud lawsuits filed against him have claimed. Tell it to the judge, arguing instead he merely spread the word, which is the same thing. So, I mean, come on now. I did not promote that. What I did is I just spread the word. He shared that on an interview. That's actually in his own words, believe it or not. Why can't you just take responsibility? Because when you point the finger at others, you got 10 fingers pointing right back at you, brother. I'm just saying. And now people want to impeach this mofo. And this is actually the dev that works for Milei, and he's the one who was interviewed by CoffeeZilla and revealed everything. I mean, he wasn't holding back. Sound pretty transparent to me. But nonetheless, let me know your thoughts and Milei's role in this. And while Milei claims he had nothing to hide and acted in good faith, he acknowledged he had something to learn from the ordeal, including the need to start setting filters on what conduct is appropriate and what isn't. Come on, I don't buy into the incompetent plea. They know better. He's the president of Argentina, 46 million people. The libertarian economist said the problem flowing from the token launch should only include the parties involved. The state plays no role. Man, it's just very sus. And my heart goes out to everyone who lost money in the rug. But at the same time, you motherfuckers must know better. I mean, don't tell me anyone in my audience bought that shit and got rugged. You guys know better. We preach every day to stay away from that shit. You know what I mean? It's the opposite of what Bitcoin is. It's a casino, and typically it's just the insiders who buy early that get the insider info, like Dave Portnoy, that are going to get rich. The rest of you guys are going to get rugged, and that's why you guys should avoid these meme coins and these clowns promoting them. Let's discuss Michael Saylor's $2 billion acquisition in the process, which just began, which he just announced, and then we'll discuss Bitcoin 1 million inevitable and strategic Bitcoin reserves occurring not just in the United States, but all around the world. The latest with the state adoption and Howard Lutnik being elected Secretary of Commerce by Trump, which is a big deal as he holds hundreds of millions worth of Bitcoin. Just makes it that much more likely we get the strategic Bitcoin reserve in the States. And then we'll do some live Q&A and we'll flip it to a pump watch. This headline reads, Saylor Strategy proposes $2 billion convertible note offering to buy more of the biddy. That's right. Business Intelligence Services, a Bitcoin buying firm formerly known as MicroStrategy, is looking to raise another $2 billion through 0% senior convertible notes to purchase more of the biddy. The first note buyers have the option to buy up to an extra $300 million worth of the notes, which can be used within 5 business days after they're issued. Strategy said in the statement, the firm added it intends to use the net proceeds from the offering to buy more of the biddy and for working capital, as announced right here by the Giga Chad himself, the one and only Michael Saylor. Senior convertible notes are a debt security that can be converted into equity at a later date. They're senior to common stock in the sense hodlers have priority in the event of bankruptcy or liquidation. Senior convertible notes have been one of the main instruments Strategy has used to execute the 21-21 plan, targeting $42 billion in capital over the next 3 years. Split equity and fixed income securities in order to buy more of the biddy. The plan was orchestrated by Strategy's executive chair, co-founder Mikey Saylor. The company has already completed over half of that $42 billion capital plan since it was announced on October 30th. Well ahead of schedule. I would not be surprised if they achieved the $42 billion within their first year and they gave themselves 3 3 years? Because Saylor's the type of guy that under promises and over delivers. He's the Giga Chad, purchasing nearly 200,000 Bitcoin since then, since October 30th. Damn. Bringing its total stash to 478,740 at the biddy and making it the world's largest corporate Bitcoin hodler in the entire world. And as you can see, the key Bitcoin metrics displayed on Strategy's new website. It shows you their Bitcoin yield year to date, 4.1%. Bitcoin gain year to date, 18,500 biddies. Bitcoin gain year to date in dollars. Looks like 1.7 billion if I'm reading that correctly. Bitcoin count, 478,740, and all the good statistics. Pretty cool. Bitcoin gain for 2024, the Bitcoin gain in Bitcoin, 140,000 biddies. It's like, ain't no joke, man. The proposed notes will mature March 1st, 2030. And by that time, Bitcoin will be multi-millions of dollars unless earlier repurchased, redeemed, or converted, or are subject to market and other conditions. Strategy shares did not see a significant move on the news. MicroStrategy closed just down 1% February 18th and traded flat after hours. Oh no. Strategy shares are, however, still up 372% over the past year, making it one of the best performers in the U.S. stock market over the last year, despite the Bitcoin purchases, which were accompanied by a Bitcoin price rise. Strategy reported 670 million of net losses in Q4, but who cares? They keep stacking thy biddy. Keep stacking thy biddy. Hence Saylor, Employee of the Month status. Thank you, Mikey Saylor. Now for our feature story of the day. Strategic Bitcoin reserves are happening right now all around the world, not just in the United States of America, making $1 million price target imminent. We're also going to discuss U.S. Senate confirms Howard Lutnik as Trump's Commerce Secretary. So let's break all this down. As you can see on your screen here by Vivek, strategic Bitcoin reserve is happening all around the world with 1 million imminent. You can see the international race for the Bitcoin strategic reserve, which is something Max Kaiser was the first to coin. Years ago, everyone of influence within Bitcoin said the same thing, that it's going to get crushed. The countries will never adopt it. The United States government will never allow it. And Max said the polar opposite. He said, no, the game theory is in play, the global hash war. It's going to happen, and countries are going to be competing and racing to adopting more Bitcoin, because whoever don't adopt the Bitcoin will get left behind. Max was right, as always. And as you can see here, the United States is at the law or policy enacted. Trump and his team are doing all their research, as they say, and it's a top priority, as you know. And you can see in Argentina, legislative process has been initiated. In Brazil, it's also law or policy enacted. In Chile, legislative process initiated. Czech Republic, we have the heads coming out from the central banks talking positive about Bitcoin, as we share in the pod. Also legislative process initiated. El Salvador, they have the first movers advantage. They were the very first country to make Bitcoin a legal tender and have full Bitcoin adoption. Germany, legislative process initiated. Hong Kong, legislative process initiated. Japan, the same. Poland, the same. Russia, the same. Switzerland, law or policy enacted. They're a step further and precisely where the United States is currently at. Who's going to be next? I pray it's the U.S., but you just never know. It could be at a state level first. And speaking of the state levels, here's some more breaking news. Texas's Bitcoin reserve bill set to pass the committee after the first hearing. It was a massive success. They just had the hearing, so they're moving forward as well. And also breaking news, I think there was another state. Here we go. Georgia strategic Bitcoin reserve bill passes to the Senate. It is spreading like wildfire. That now makes over 30 states in the USA. Some form of Bitcoin adoption occurring with a strategic reserve or a treasury or for the pension fund or whatever. Sovereign wealth funds. We also announced a few days ago, Abu Dhabi out of the UAE announced owning roughly $500 million worth of the Bitcoin ETF of BlackRock, which is IBIT. So mass adoption is occurring. Now, other big news. U.S. Senate confirms Howard Lutnik as Trump's Commerce Secretary. Why is this a big deal? Because Howard Lutnik, who I just heard an interview from a few days back, Anthony Pompliano interviewed him and straight up asked him, he's like, my audience will get mad if I don't ask, how much Bitcoin do you hold and what's your net worth? And he ultimately said he's worth billions upon billions of dollars and that he has hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin and he's going to continue to buy the pretty little bitty, sending the pretty little bitty up forever, Laura. The U.S. Senate confirmed Howard Lutnik as the 41st Secretary of Commerce. Lutnik, a billionaire with ties to Wall Street, with President Trump's administration on trade policies. Also, he seems to be pretty close to Bukele. We've seen photos of him and Bukele together over in El Salvador, and also a friend of Max Kaiser. So let's freaking go. Lutnik immediately stepped down as CEO of financial services firm Cantor Fitzgerald after he was confirmed to lead the Department of Commerce in a 52-45 vote on February 18th. So it is official. Lutnik is a crypto advocate, massive Bitcoiner. Again, he holds hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Cantor Fitzgerald holds a stake in crypto stablecoin issuer Tether as well. Lutnik said he sells shares in all 818 businesses and other private investments that he holds positions in within 90 days, which lands May 19th. He'll now head around 50,000 Commerce Department staffers who do everything from gathering business data and looking after patents to drumming up foreign investment and forecasting the weather. Let's go. He'll also take a key role in working with top U.S. trade negotiators to deliver Trump's plan to impose import taxes on U.S. trading partners. Trump has already imposed a 10% tariff on Chinese imports while raising U.S. taxes on foreign steel and aluminum. He also threatened a 25% tariff on products coming from bordering countries of Canada and Mexico before delaying that decision until early March. Lutnik told the Senate confirmation hearing last month that the idea that the tariffs would lead to inflation was nonsense and backed Trump's plans to create more reciprocity, fairness, and respect for the U.S. and the trade world. Cantor Fitzgerald has been one of Tether's most important banking partners at the time when the company was cut off by many banks around the world, so they're big crypto advocates, clearly. The company held most of the Tether token reserves in November, which were valued at $134 billion. Good Lord. And have since expanded over $141 billion, according to the Tether website. Meanwhile, Senator Pocahontas, Miss Warren, publicly pressed him last month over what she claimed to be the deep personal ties to Tether, which she said was a serious concern. Well, we all hate that lady. Time to go. Let's go. And we'll have extraordinary access to President Trump and other financials responsible for the regulating of the stablecoin giant. And as you know, anything President Biden was, he's no longer president, but anything Senator Warren is against is probably good for humanity. It's a safe assumption to just assume that because she is terrible for humanity and she works for the lizard folk. Lutnik said in December of 2023 that he was a fan of the crypto, particularly the Biddy, pointing to the Bitcoin halving cycles and a lack of decentralized entity as the two main reasons. He sees value in holding hundreds of millions of dollars worth of the Biddy. Lutnik's confirmation comes about 3 months after Trump selected him to fill Gina Raimondo's position for his second stint in office. And if you don't know, now you know. Broskies. Shout out Howard Lutnik. Congratulations. That's a win, I believe, for all of us. JV, that was a great interview, and Anthony and Howard agreed. Shout out Pompliano for that interview. I know I shared it on X, and I'm glad you saw it. Shortcoin. Lutnik has MicroStrategy for his company. Apparently no Biddy. No, he has Bitcoin. He announced having hundreds of millions of dollars worth in the interview with Pompliano. He straight up said, I have hundreds of millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. Sleepy Joe is now allowed to spend months at the beach eating his ice cream. So be it. Just stay away from the kids, Joe. Creepy Joe.